Yo, what's happening, people? Kagey back for a match review. I'm doing it actually while the game is still on because it's done and dusted. It's Tottenham 3, Leeds United 0. Barring anything spectacular, I don't think it's going to change. But it's what happens when you come up against quality. You know, we're going to have these games. Tottenham just had too much for us when they managed to get on the attack, and you know, the first half, I'm just going straight into it, and I'm no happy new year, no nothing. I'm just going straight into this, but I'm just going to make this as quick as possible, really, because I just want to touch on the Karen Carney thing, because I've touched on it on other channels on my Twitter, but just want to give a more personal account of that here. So, but yeah, the first half we started really well. You know, we had a few chances there. Rafinha created some really good opportunities. Bamford probably should have scored that header in the first half. If he scores that, it's a completely different game. We wasn't clinical with a lot of things today in the final third, and it ultimately cost us. You know, I've said it before, but I'll say it again because it seems to get lost because he scored a couple of goals. But you can play Alioski for me against teams like West Brom, Newcastle, and other teams like that, no problem. I've got no issue with that. But when it comes up against teams that have got players that have got that elite ability, that elite mindset, that elite movement, he shouldn't be anywhere near the starting lineup. And hopefully over this window or the next one at least, we address that at left back, because Alioski's good in the squad. I have no issue with that. I think he's a good player to bring on when you need a bit of energy, but he just doesn't have the composure for me. And when a player like Son is attacking, he's got no chance. You know, Son will go around him. He'll outthink him, and he did that today. You know, the foul was a silly thing. But it's what you expect from Alioski, really. Whether it was inside the box or out, I think it looked outside the box. But like I said, against Burnley, we had a decision where Medlier's gone into the back of Ben Mee that went for us. We're going to have these all season long. It's going to be the inconsistencies of VAR. You can't get around it. So we have to eat this one today and move on to the next one. But we did have more than enough in the first half to get a goal. And it's very disappointing that we didn't capitalise on the opportunities we created. And just circling back to Alioski, it's not a bashing against him. It's just that there's certain levels in the Premier League, and yeah, you can play against the bottom of the league teams. It suits him. You know, West Brom are basically a championship club, and with all due respect. But when you're coming up against Man United, when you're coming up against Tottenham, he can't be anywhere near the starting lineup for these games. I'm sorry. We need to address that. And I hope we address that in January. You know, one of my followers said to me about prioritising a left back and a central midfielder, and I couldn't agree more. We definitely need something more at the left back and in the middle. You know, got Calvin Phillips, who's got I've just seen he's got a yellow card, so he's going to be missing for the next Premier League game. I don't think it will carry on for the FA Cup. I think he'll be eligible, so we're probably playing that one now. But we do need some extra depth in the middle for sure. Goals 2 and 3, you're talking about that Kane and Son link up, and listen, they are absolutely deadly. You know, you're talking about two world-class players here, and I don't throw that world-class term around very, very loosely. You know, I really don't. But they are two world-class players, and when they link up and it works, it's beautiful to watch. And they did us a couple of times today. You know, Harry Kane is probably the most complete striker in the league, you know, in terms of finishing, in terms of build-up play, in terms of passing, and his smarts up front. You know, you can't deny that. So, you know, that's the game. You know, that is the game. 3-0. It's one of those that we just have to take and move on. We've got Crawley in the cup next. That should be good, and I hope that we see a different team against Crawley. You know, I think we've got more than enough fringe players and under 23s to take care of Crawley Town in the cup, and then we're back at home against Brighton and Southampton. So hopefully, you know, we will put this one to bed. You know, Tottenham are a better team. You know, they're very well coached, and as we said at the start, our style of play really suits Tottenham's way of playing. They sit back, we go on the attack. It suited them to a T. So yeah, we'll take that one and move on. in regards to the Karen Carney thing and the Leeds United thing and everything else like that, listen, Karen Carney made a statement on TV that is there to be scrutinised, it's there to be criticised, it's there to be praised if you agree with it. Obviously, at the Leeds United, and we don't agree with that. You know, she said, you know, that Leeds United got promoted because of COVID. Listen, at the time when COVID hit, we had 5 wins, 5 clean sheets. It wasn't, you know, the COVID had nothing to do with us going up. And what if you look at her body language as well, when she said it, she didn't know what she was saying, man. She was just saying stuff that she's reread over and over by other uninformed journalists, and she repeated it, and she looked around to the 2 guys with her for confirmation, as if like, it's true, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not just Karen that doesn't do her research beforehand. It's all the other pundits too. They don't do their research beforehand. So they're agreeing with her, instead of somebody saying, well, actually, Karen, at the time when COVID hit and locked the season down, Leeds United had 5 wins. They didn't even need to mention the 5 clean sheets. Just say they had 5 wins in a row, so I think they were doing all right. But no one corrected her. But our Twitter account then clips it up and puts it out there. Just as they've done with other people. They've done it with Abondahor recently. They've done it with Chris Wilder when he called us the Muppets from Leeds. When we beat Sheffield United, they put 1-0 to the Muppets from Leeds. In terms of Chris Wilder, they've done it to many people. But what happened is, because it's Karen Carney and because she's a woman, you had a lot of people defending her honour. Now, I don't know, only Karen can answer this question, whether she wants people defending her or not, I don't know. But as a pundit, your words are there to be praised, as it does. We see loads of praise for pundits when they get things right. But you're also going to get criticised, and we see that a lot. You know, I hear on my channel said what Karen Carney said in the last game was rubbish. But it had nothing to do with her being a woman, zero to do with that. It's to do with the statement that she made. And unfortunately, what's happened is that it's got clipped up on the Leeds United Twitter feed, and all the misogynistic and sexist comment people have come into it and given their 2 cents. Karen Carney's opinion is there to be criticised because it's not true, and I'm sure the club are fed up of hearing it by, you know, clueless commentators and pundits that just keep on regurgitating the same thing over and over again. So they have every right to defend themselves from the comments, because what she's basically saying is that if it wasn't for COVID, we'd still be in the Championship. Never mind the fact that we won the league by 10 points. Never mind the fact that we played the best football in the league for nearly 2 years in a row. It's discrediting the club, so they have every right to reply. This is the issue, though, that is at hand here. When you've got a pundit, what you're hoping is that people don't go to the lowest form of insults and go there. So like with Abondahor, when he gets clipped up on our timeline, you don't want people to say, are you black so-and-so? You know, you don't want that. You just want people to criticize the opinion and not get personal with the pundit. And it's the same for me with Paul Merson. Listen, I do not agree with a lot of things Paul Merson says, but you'll never hear me talk about him saying about his battle with alcoholism or anything like that, because it's unnecessary. You don't need to do that, and it's got zero to do with what he's saying. That guy just blows with the wind. You know, you win 3 games in a row, you're the best team in the world. You lose 1, you might be relegated. You know, he's like that. But that's got zero to do with his personal issues, so I won't bring that up. Unfortunately, other people do. And it's those people that are the problem, not the fact that Karen Carney's clip was put on the timeline. You're hoping that other people don't stoop to the lowest form of insults. Now, in terms of how you do that going forward, do you not clip her up because she's a woman? I mean, I don't know if Karen would want that. Would she want that as a pundit? She's a pundit in the game. Would she want to be treated differently? Does she need some of these people that were defending her so vehemently? Does she need that? Because I said it in the voice tweet I put out. Some of the people that were defending Karen were the same people that were piling on Abondahor, which is very interesting. So where was the caping for Abondahor the same way it was for Karen Carney? You see, for me, that looks sexist to me, because there you're trying to protect somebody because she's a woman. Now, the only way that you make Karen Carney's comments more normalized in the game, more accepted, is just by keep on putting her out there. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Same thing I said to a Tottenham YouTuber when she had a video that went viral and people were just taking the mick. I said, don't stop doing what you're doing. People just need to get used to seeing women talking about football. And for me, that's the main thing. The more you see it, the less comments you're going to see about getting in the kitchen and all that. The more people see it, the more they get used to it. If you hide it away, in my opinion, it just makes it less normal. And it keeps those people that are banging their chests and telling the women to get back in the kitchen as the ones that are right. So I don't think you should hide it away. But I mean, I don't have a large women following on here. According to the analytics, I think it's about 3 of you that watch it. But what do women think? Would, if you was a pundit in Karen's position, because this is a question only a woman can ask, the same way that there's only some questions that only black people can answer. This is only a question that women can answer. So if you're a woman and you're a pundit, would you want to be more protected than your male counterparts, or do you want equal treatment in terms of if you get something right, it gets clipped up? Great. And if you get something wrong or it's questionable, you get clipped up too. I mean, that is something that only a woman can answer. So if there are any women out there that are watching this, let me know in the comments below. So yeah, I mean, that's the game. Not much to say. And something, I'm just circling back again for Karen Carney. I hope that it's something that she takes forward as a learning point, just to make sure you do your research. But that's not just to her, that's to all of them. That's to Merson, that's to a lot of them. Do your research beforehand, man, and stop coming out with these lazy, regurgitated lines that people keep saying over and over. I mean, like today, we've lost against Tottenham 3-0. All I see on the timeline is Leeds defensively are terrible and this and that and everything else. And I haven't seen the tired one yet. I'll give people credit, but that will be there. People will say, "Oh, I think they're tired." Just stop repeating the same regurgitated nonsense and do the research, man. Do the work, you know. And I saw Jake Humphrey talking about our pundits do the research. No, they don't. Come on, man. Who are you trying to kid? The people on YouTube, we do more research than your paid pundits, and that's just facts. Listen to a lot of the YouTubers talk. A lot of them, not all of them. You know, we do our research. We watch the games. You know, we're not just allocated a game and give an opinion on it. We actually watch and see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, so what I would say to Karen is, you know, if I was her, is just keep on doing what you're doing, but just do a little bit of research first. And if you really do believe that about COVID, expand on it. Tell us why you think that even after 5 wins in a row and 5 clean sheets, why you think we would have fallen away, you know. But yeah, that's it. That's the game. We're up against Crawley next week. I think that will be light work, in all honesty, and I hope to see a lot of fringe players. I don't want to see Rafinha, I don't want to see Bamford, I don't want to see any of these guys on the pitch. I hope they get a nice week's rest. That's something I should have mentioned as well. KANE and Son and Højbjerg today look so much more refreshed because of that Fulham game that got called off in midweek because of the COVID thing. Oh man, if they had played that game, I don't know if they would have looked as fresh as they did today, but they did. They looked like they had a bit of extra kick in them compared to the last, I think, 2 or 3 games I've seen them play, where they looked a little bit jaded. So it did help them, but obviously they're going to have to play that game at some point in the future, you know. But yeah, we'll leave it there, and yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you probably after the Crawley game if I do one after that one. Peace.